All right, here we go. We starting our day. Came from Wheeling, West Virginia. Today I'm gonna talk about one petty topic. Well, it's not petty. Two topics. One is about drivers not throwing their trash in the trash cans, and this is why nobody wants us anywhere. That drivers that throw their trash on the floor, like if somebody's gonna come behind them and pick that up. I had a driver the other day while I was at the TN Wheeling come right next to me and take a piss. I started blowing my air horn, and he was like, "Hey, there's no point." Yeah, it is a problem, man. First of all, you're pissing next to me. Second of all, there's a bathroom in the truck stop. You know what I mean? Go there. That's where you're supposed to piss at. Grown ass man. I had to scold him. He was looking like a little 3-year-old kid. He was a grown ass man. Come on, guys. We gotta, this is our environment, man. We gotta keep it clean. You don't go in your house and piss in the corner. As far as I know, nobody does that. Anyway, moving on. Second tip of the day. When there's work, make sure you work in that work, because all you fields is up and down like Wall Street. And not that long ago, there wasn't a lot of work. We would call in and they would say, "Pad's full right now," because again, we are overflow. Now there's an abundance of work, and there's no one working it, because what happens is you start getting your fill, you start making your little 5,000 to 10,000 a week, and now you don't feel the necessity to fulfill the obligation of what these companies need, which is to get that oil out the ground by fracking. So they need the sand, and it turns around real quick. So you can't take it for granted. You come out here, man, you gotta be out here in order to service these customers. You come last. The money you generate hopefully gets you some profit, and with that profit, your business will thrive. Everybody's a business owner. Well, for the most part, well, let me speak for myself. I'm a small business owner. I'm out here to generate revenue in order to get profits out of that revenue. For the most part, if not all my money goes back into my business. That's just me. I don't have outside things that, like, for example, some people they got a lot of cars, or they got apartments, houses, family. I'm not gonna say I don't have those. Well, I don't have any cars. I don't have any apartments. Family, they are right. So for the most part, I'm trying to build a business in order to be set in my 50s and 60s. I'm hoping to have a big year for 2026. I'm not sure if I'm going to remain in the oil field, or I'm going to lease on trucks to carry it with OTR work, or maybe both. I'm not quite sure as of right now. I'm going to start off with one of my trucks, making sure that it's up to what I consider something I would want to drive if I was driving for someone. I'm actually this truck right here, which is I would say this is about 85% ready to go. It has high mileage, but if you're on you understand, like, these things don't matter to us. As long as these trucks are running and you maintain them well, they'll continue to run. I got about 732,000 miles on this. At this point, they say that there's some type of a pickup pump that needs to get changed. I got to find out the pricing on that. In the past year for this truck, I've replaced the radiator. I've replaced not the drive shaft, whatever that gearbox, the gearbox, and I've replaced replace the clutch. Those things right there ran above $10,000. So, you know, but I don't have a payment, and that's something that, you know, there's a trade-off. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you're gonna pay it to the bank, or you're gonna pay it to the mechanic. You know, they're correct. You're gonna pay regardless. But for me, not having a payment helps me stay in business, and I'm not to the point where, you know, getting new trucks, having payments is really appealing to me, quite honestly, or yet. But eventually, I believe that's the best way to go. However, you should have a good amount of trucks. You should have a solid foundation, and you need to have your own work. You can't be running a fleet. Or you can have a strategic partnership, but you can't be running a fleet off the DAC. Period. That's the no-no. So, throw the trash in the trash receptacles. For the most part, it's going to fall on deaf ears, because those men that do will continue to do that, and those that don't will continue making us look bad. That's why nobody wants us in the neighborhoods. You know, it's like cops, man. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. For the most part, you know. All right, moving on. That's a losing situation right there. Again, don't take work for granted. When it's there, take it. You know, I know a guy turning down $6,000 loads like it's nothing. I actually turned down that load while I was on the phone with him, and I got a little upset. I was like, dude, what is wrong with you? But that's the good part about where he's at. I'm not an over-the-road guy. I probably mentioned this before. I don't want to do 500 miles a day. I don't want to do 700 miles a day. I don't want to wake up and drive until the point I got to go to sleep. This gentleman, Mike, is a hard runner. He's doing great where he's at. And he's turning down $6,000 load. Jesus! So I wish I was in that situation. Or I'm trying to get my drops into that situation. I'm trying to see if I dispatch, you know, my trucks and have them drive, or get to the point where I'm getting drivers to dispatch themselves my equipment and generate. I'm trying to get $1,000 a truck. I'm not greedy. I mean, that's after everything, after fuel, after paying the driver, and after saving money for taxes and all other expenses. $1,000 a week. The goal is 5 to 10 trucks. They say if you're gonna do 2, you might as well go to 10. You know, we'll see. All right, dirty ass truck drivers, stop being dirty. Everybody else, thank you for watching.